is Thais Patricio, and this is America's Struggle for Public Education. In today's world, 41% of Americans believe that the country has worsened. A major reason for this is the declining state of America's public schools. My research question today is, how has public school environment in America today negatively impacted students' development? America's public schools have negatively impacted their students' development through lack of funding used for educational materials and paying workers, rigid educational methods which hinder learning, and heavy restrictions which induce stress and raise tensions. Here, the average NAEP scores are shown. The NAEP stands for the National Assessment of Educational Progress. This test measures the achievement of students, and here we can see the private schools compared to the public schools. Here it's shown that the private schools scored significantly higher than public schools on average. This cannot be a coincidence. Insufficient funding. In the map, public education revenues are shown.
You're fine.
In the
Take a second.
In this map, it is shown that very few states have a per student revenue that exceeds $16,000 to $19,000. Without this money, public schools are unable to properly function. Schools are extremely reliant upon money as they use it to pay workers, paying teachers and other employees, buying materials for the students, and funding after-school activities. Cheryl Novine at Bethel University predicts that just under 50% of the country's teachers will have left their jobs within the next 5 years. This shows that without more funding, schools will continue to deteriorate. Unvarying teaching method. In this chart, we see the various learning styles. Here we can see auditory, visual, and tactile. Despite these different learning styles, students are still made to learn the same way. This prevents engagement and discourages creativity. In the evidence below, Daniel Willingham, a psychologist, says that people learn in different ways and that learning can be optimized for an individual by tailoring instruction to his or her style. This shows that people learn best when taught with consideration of their learning style. But what many public schools fail to realize is that beyond another student, an individual exists as well. The same idea is presented in Caribou Jackson's work when he says, however, a large body of research demonstrates that non-cognitive skills not captured by standardized tests such as adaptability, self-restraint, and motivation are key determinants of adult outcomes. Furthering the idea that a standardized or constant method of education cannot be applied to everyone. This is a description of the lost Maori history. When people choose to use only one method of learning, other methods, such as the auditory method of the Maori, are ignored, putting aside major historical and other logical factors that can only be presented using certain methods. Unjust rules. Here, a public school and a jail is shown. This is not only to compare the uncanny similarities between their appearance, but to compare the restrictions enforced as well. It is a well-known fact that schools place heavy restrictions upon students. This involves bathroom passes, phone rules, and various other things. While schools do carry the right to enforce these rules, many do not actually pertain to the student's ability to learn and complete a task. But they focus on making students follow the directions of their superiors. Like an employee to their boss, by using these policies, schools are teaching children to be subservient to their superiors instead of self-advocates. This makes students feel trapped and inspire retaliation. Augustina Paulin, a political scientist, says that this. Importantly, primary education was usually considered a terminal degree for the masses, not a platform for further education, showing the true intentions of America's public schools and the lack of concern that public schools have for educating their students. America can fix these issues by listening to students and their suggestions through suggestion boxes or direct conversations with their students. More funding for all public schools and equal funding as well, and encouraging diverse teaching methods, which can help to encourage more inclusion and engagement. Thank you.
All right, I got 2 questions for you. First question, was there evidence that you gathered that you didn't use, and then why didn't you use it?
There was one about a principal struggling to maintain his school. I didn't think that was necessary because it focused more on the worker's struggle as the principal instead of the students, which is my main focus.
Okay, and then if you had more time, what additional research would you have done on this topic?
I think I would have added the amount of students who choose to drop out because of this. It would have shown that how this really affects students and leaving their education.